Megachurches today stand among the most influential religious institutions in the modern world, drawing thousands each week and shaping the spiritual landscape far beyond their physical campuses. But behind the inspiring worship experiences, soaring music, smooth production, and strong public messaging lies a financial architecture built with the scale and complexity of a corporation. These churches, often reaching weekly attendance ranges of 2,000 to 50,000 or more, operate through systems that blend ministry, nonprofit management, and entertainment industry infrastructure. Their financial lives are multi-layered, organized, and often shielded from the everyday congregant's view. At the center is the central church entity, the recognized 501c3 that receives offerings, owns property, pays staff, and runs the weekend services that most people associate with the word church. This is where discipleship, benevolence, and youth programs live, though these ministries often represent only a fraction of the total church budget. Surrounding this central institution are sister organizations, schools, academies, daycare centers, and educational branches, each structured as its own nonprofit with tuition revenue and an independent budget. The ecosystem grows further through foundations and trusts, financial structures designed for handling large gifts, endowments, and donor-advised funds. These foundations often appear quietly in the background, stewarding millions while keeping the congregation unaware of how money flows in and out. As the church expands, the media becomes a significant component of the financial landscape. Many megachurch pastors build or participate in publishing houses, sermon distribution platforms, music labels, and production companies. These may be owned by the church, jointly held with leadership, or fully controlled by the pastor personally. Book royalties, curriculum licenses, sermon sales, streaming revenue, and digital distribution often flow through these private or semi-private channels. For congregants, it becomes nearly impossible to trace where ministry income ends and personal income begins. The creative output of the church, books, music, films, devotionals, can generate significant revenue without ever touching the main church's public financial picture. Conferences and events form another major branch of revenue. Many churches put on large annual gatherings, leadership events, and worship conferences. These operate like industry conventions, generating revenue through registration fees, merchandise sales, and vendor partnerships. These events are typically housed in their own LLCs, keeping the income separate and creating a financial lane that operates beyond the transparency expected of the main church body. Real estate plays its own role in this ecosystem. Church campuses are sometimes moved under holding companies or property-owning LLCs rather than kept under the main church. This structure protects the property from liability and allows the organization to maneuver assets without public disclosure. The result is an interlocking web of nonprofits, LLCs, trusts, and media companies. Each legal, each functional, and each serving a purpose in a financial system far larger than what a congregant sees during Sunday worship. These layered structures feed multiple streams of income. Weekly tithes and offerings remain the primary river, often accounting for 60 to 80% of all revenue. But they are no longer the only one. Capital campaigns for building expansions generate massive gifts and multi-year pledges. Pastor-authored books, small group curriculum, and sermon materials add additional layers of income, with funds often directed to private LLCs rather than church accounts. Worship music brands bring in royalties, streaming revenue, and international licensing payments. Conferences produce large profit cycles annually. Schools and academies create a steady income through tuition. Even on-campus coffee shops and bookstores, frequently run under for-profit entities, become financial contributors on the broader network. Once inside the financial system, money is distributed into an equally complex web of expenses. Staff salaries form one of the largest categories. Megachurches often employ hundreds of people: pastors, administrators, media teams, musicians, designers, tech crews, facilities managers, and security staff. Senior leader compensation can quietly reach corporate-level amounts, from $250,000 per year to multi-million-dollar packages. These figures are almost always kept confidential, even from faithful members who assume transparency is standard practice. The cost of production is another immense expense. Weekly services at large churches resemble high-end broadcast productions. LED walls, multi-camera systems, lighting rigs, staging, sound engineering, and live streaming infrastructure demand constant investment. Creative teams produce videos, graphics, digital campaigns, and social media content. The overall production budget often rivals that of a commercial entertainment company, and many churches spend more annually on technology than on their entire discipleship or missions budgets combined. Real estate operations also consume large sums. Church buildings costing $50 million, $100 million, or even more require massive ongoing investment. Mortgage payments, utilities, HVAC, landscaping, parking lot maintenance, and security quickly add up to millions each year. Marketing and communications budgets add another layer. Digital advertising, promotional videos, branding campaigns, and outreach strategies designed to maintain engagement and growth. Meanwhile, ministries that congregants assume receive the lion's share of funds: youth, children, benevolence, missions, discipleship, and small groups often operate on only 5 to 6% of the total budget. While these programs may be the emotional heart of the church, the financial heart beats elsewhere, driven by the demands of maintaining a complex organization. Buried within the financial maze are hidden chambers, areas intentionally structured to remain out of public view. Salaries for leadership are usually undisclosed. Pastoral LLCs allow revenue from books, conferences, and media to bypass church accounting entirely. Boards are often filled with appointees loyal to the pastor, friends, business partners, or compensated members, making actual oversight difficult. Ministry assets such as vehicles, travel budgets, and hospitality accounts sometimes serve double duty for personal benefit. Deferred compensation packages provide golden parachutes unknown to the congregation. Family members may hold influential, high-paying roles. Some churches carry enormous debt loads but reveal none of it publicly. Designated funds, building offerings, relief offerings, or missions gifts can be redirected under vague financial categories without congregational approval. Finance committees commonly deliberate behind closed doors with no requirement to release minutes or disclose decisions. When viewed from above, the entire system resembles the financial architecture of empire more than that of a covenant community. It mirrors the Babylonian pattern. Multiple hidden rooms, layers of authority with minimal accountability, leaders protected from scrutiny, wealth concentrated in the upper tiers, image prioritized over transparency, and the financial life shielded from the people who fund it. In contrast, Jerusalem's ancient pattern operated with open gates, visible scales, shared responsibility, and leaders accountable before the community. Stewardship was communal. Nothing was hidden in side rooms or protected behind legal shields. Yet the complexity of modern megachurch life does not require a Babylon-shaped structure. A covenant-aligned megachurch could exist, one shaped by openness, clarity, and shared stewardship. Such a church would disclose salaries, publish audited financial statements, open board minutes, remove private LLC funnels, disband hidden discretionary accounts, reveal all debt obligations, and hold regular open meetings where members could see how resources were being used. Programs serving the poor, the vulnerable, and the community would become the financial priority, not the afterthought. Leadership would be shared, not concentrated. Ministry would shape the structure rather than the structure shaping the ministry. And in that kind of church, financial life would return to the light, and the congregation would once again participate in the stewardship of their house. The megachurch could still be significant, practical, creative, and influential. But it would operate as a community, not a corporation. It would look less like a modern kingdom and more like a covenant family. A Jerusalem-shaped house standing open at the gate, its scales straight, its tables uncovered, its resources guided by the people, for the people, and rooted in integrity rather than image.